Hi and welcome to Coding with Jesse. So in my last video I wanted to get MySQL set up and a database library written, but I ended up spending most of my time getting chai as promised to work, so that's fine. I'm just going to switch this around. So now this is my test, and I want my test to pass, not by using my hacky little trick to get the test to pass, but I actually want to call MySQL. So what I need to do is I'm going to run node MySQL2 as the library because it's apparently faster, and it uses the exact same documentation as node MySQL1, but like they say, documentation, see node MySQL documentation. So I'm just going to follow documentation for the original library, even though I'll install the newer one. And so it's going to be set up like this. I'll just copy all this and we'll see what I want to use. So instead of requiring MySQL, I'm pretty sure it'll be node-MySQL2. And then my connection is going to be defined actually. I'm going to keep it as a global variable, as a singleton, if you're familiar with that term. So a singleton just means in my application there's only going to be one connection to the database. And yeah, that might change in the future, but probably not. So create connection, I'm just going to pass the config right into there. So the init basically just creates a connection. And in my query, I think what I'll do is I'll connect when you run a query. And actually, from what I read, it's unnecessary. When you run a query, it'll connect on its own. So what I'll do is have this query called inside the query, inside the query function. So inside here, it's going to call connection.query. I need to get some SQL, and there might be parameters, but we'll deal with that later because it's not part of my test. So actually I can make it part of my test, why not? Select question mark as value, and then I'll pass in 5 inside an array. That's how you do these, I guess you can call it a procedure, but I forget what they call it. But that's how you pass in variables, because you want it to be escaped by, you want it to be secure. So this is a way to make sure that when users are typing data in, it's secure. So SQL and then params, and I will pass the params in here. And well, you know what? I want it to work with or without params. So without params, I'll do it the way I had it before. And then I'll just have a second test that works with params. So it should work both ways, right? Yeah, I see that comma there. Okay, let's simplify that. Alright, so if params is undefined, is that going to work? I don't know. We'll find it. So if error, I'm going to reject error, and I am going to get picky about my formatting because I copied and pasted. Oh, it's all this. Okay. And I'm not going to console.log the solution. I'm going to let's just have result, and I'm going to ignore fields. I don't know if that's going to be important. And so resolve result. And I need to return here because I don't want to reject and resolve at the same time. So, and I'm going to rename that to error because that's what I like to call it. Not error, but error. Error. And let's see if that works. So I have no idea if that will. I know it won't because I haven't installed node MySQL2. But let's run the test anyway, just as a sanity check. It's probably going to say, cannot find node MySQL2. Who knew? npm install node MySQL2. Save that. Give that a second. Oh, did I get something wrong? I did get something wrong. So let's look back up what where node MySQL2 is. Node MySQL2. Oh, you know what? It's probably just going to be MySQL2. I'm just going to try that because I bet that's what it is. MySQL2. Save. And that seems to be working. So I'm going to change in my code too. It's probably not node-MySQL2. It's probably just MySQL2. Yeah, it seemed to work. So let's run my test. And yeah. Wait. Is that right? Oh, I actually got the number 5 back. I was expecting to get... I was expecting it to be a string. But I guess it's actually smart enough to return an integer straight to me. So that's better than I expected. So let's run that again. It should pass. Oh, this one too. Whoop. So let's just make them different. Just again as a sanity check in case it's, I don't know, caching or something weird. Run that again. Yeah, it works. So this is actually running a query on my MySQL database, and it's returning me a promise. All the rest of it, that's really working. So I'm going to leave it at that. I have a working database model, and it was all done with test-driven development. So thanks for watching.